Hello, Tad McClelland here. Yeah, been doing some videos on stitches, different types of leather stitches, joining specifically right now, not necessarily limited to, but that's the last one I did, the baseball stitch. That is used exclusively for joining two chunks of two pieces of leather together, butt joint, end to end. Yeah, so this next one is just kind of a cross stitch. This one can be used either to join two pieces together, or if you wanted just a decorative stitch, you could run it, instead of running from joint to joint, you could just run it between two lines. And I will give an example of that later on, maybe not in this video, but in the upcoming videos. But the basics are the same. So again, we'll go ahead and put. I've already pre-cut a few sample pieces. You can do this, or you can wait until you're ready to do whatever project you're going to do. I've got excuse me, a few examples in mind. A suggestion was doing like a dog collar type of deal, which you would have to get other hardware, a buckle, clasp, or something like that, to finish it. But you could get the strap essentially put together, and really all it is just a miniature belt. And so good practice if you wanted to make a belt. Another thing that you could that I had suggested was bracelet or wrist wrap. So bracelet, you can make it either make it kind of girly if you like to give to girlfriends or whatever, and for those of you who are married, but not specifically the boys that I'm doing this for, or these few videos for, or yourself. And yeah, there's all kinds of different styles and so on of stitches, and so many things that you can do, just letting your imagination run wild. So I find new stitches all the time, or figure out new stitches, and they're probably done before, but just make stuff up as I go and figure it out. And that's why I love this. There's just so many different things that you can do, build, make. Anyway, moving on. So we're set here. I'm gonna just do some examples. I've got a few ready to go, and I'm just gonna do one type of stitch per video. Keep the video short, so you can choose whatever stitch you'd like to use for your project, and just focus on that one video instead of having to go through 3 miles and 6 hours. All right. So here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get my thread set up. And again, I'm using a lighter thread, not necessarily because I like it, but I do actually like these colors together. But more just so it's easier to see. So yeah, we're going to pull through just about twice as much as that needle length, and then put the needle through again. And I've explained this in other videos, but we'll just do it again right here. So all that's doing is locking that so it doesn't come, so you can pull on it quite hard before it comes out of the needle. So just helps you hold on to it. Let's get the other side here. I don't know how that happened, but it may have came that way, but this needle's a little bit bent. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I'm just so strong that I can bend needles with my mind. If it was with my mind, definitely not strong enough. Okay, almost got her. Big fingers doing little work. Okay, so there we go. Make sure we don't have any tangles. All right, this might be a little short for what we're doing, but we'll find out. So kind of like what we did here, starting with one straight stitch straight across. This one is much easier to do if you're going around something. So let's say if I was going to wrap this handle, and I had one piece of leather that I brought around, and the seam was on one side, or even two, and do this on one side first and then the other. But it is much easier to pull it tight and make the stitch look better if you're stretching the leather over something else, which is why it's so useful with baseballs. You start out with a ball and wrap it, and yeah, much easier. But for examples, this worked just fine. So again, we're going to put one needle through each side, and again, this is a cross stitch. Sometimes it helps. There's a lot of examples out there. I mean, Google it. There's lots of examples, but it helps just looking at a picture to remind yourself. I do it all the time. In fact, I've got one up right here just so I can look at it and remember what I'm doing. So, all right, now I'm going to get our needles, both our needles together, and pull it even to where we're centered on that. We got the same amount of thread on both sides. Okay. So, and as always, start with the same side every time. So this one is this one's going to be a short, or what I call a short cross. So it's not going to be I'm not going to skip any holes. I'm just going to go to the next one. I didn't really, yeah, this spacing is actually kind of far apart, but it works just fine if you stitch for both sides. If you just stitch for one, you're going to wind up with it overlapped like that. So I'll show you how to stitch for both sides. So we've got that cross right there. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead just to lock it in. There we go. I'm going to do a loop, which means I'll pull just a little bit more through. There we go. So it evens up. Make sure my needles even up again. So again, I just pulled that all the way through, so I got a loop on both sides. And it's doubled on one, which is fine. Just makes it that much stronger. Make sure that I'm somewhat even. And it's pretty close. Okay. So I started with left late yesterday, or wound up that way. But I'm going to start on the right this time and keep with the right. So the right hand needle is always going to be first. And I'm always going to end on the right. So right there, first hole. So on the front, you're going to have a cross. On the back, it's going to go straight. So you got a cross right there. And on the back, we're going to go to the next hole right there. First hole. Boom. Just like that. And don't pull it too tight just yet, because it'll just overlap. You can pull it snug, but now we're going to drop that one. I know I said I'm going to start on the right, but we do have to start on the left sometime, like right now. So this one is going to go through the hole you just came out of with the last one to complete that cross. And again, do your best not to split through that thread as you put it through the hole. It's something that you'll learn as you go. And I still mess up. Oh, I forgot. I was wrong. Sorry, I was wrong. On this one, it's always, they're going to wind up right back where they were. See? Even old guys can mess up. Okay, so you're going to wind up with a double on both sides. Double. Since it crosses on the front, you're going to have two going across each time on the face, or on the back, So, and we'll go ahead and pull those together a little bit. Let's see. This works better with a, vegetable tanned leather, and you'll learn more about that later from experience. But vegetable tanned is it's just a different type of tanning process. This here is what they call a, oh no, I can't remember. Chrome tanned. And I'm not sure about how it works, but it's just a different type of tanning process. And you should look it up if you want to know more about it. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, there we go. All right, so again, we're going to grab that right one, move up one, and then straight across the back. If I can get it through. All right, left one. Go through the one we just came through. Straight across the back. Pull her snug. And again, when you're pulling it snug, it helps to push down on it right on the seam, so it doesn't want to get out of whack one way or the other. So this stitch, so this one holds your two ends together, so they don't offset. This stitch will be more apt to let that flop over. So sometimes it's better, and we didn't get any, but sometimes it's better to use a little bit of glue in there as you stitch to hold that together so it doesn't come apart. And in my previous videos, I gotta find it over here. If you'd like to get some, this is called Eco Weld. I get it from Tandy Leather. It's a water-based contact adhesive. It works really well, especially for things that you want to keep flexible. There are other types out there that work just as good. This one doesn't stink. That's why I like it, partially. That, and it's easy to clean up after, because it is water-based. The downside to it is this is not great for stuff that's going to get wet in the future. But okay, back to this. So we're going to go right side up one and straight across. Yeah. Left one, up one. And straight across. And then snug it up. Start with your right one and your left. Oops. See what happened there? I don't know if you can see it. I actually went through my other thread. You can kind of see that when I pull on this one, watch this thread. It pulls it back in. That's okay. It'll be all right. Okay, right one. Next one. Oh. That one keeps coming out for some reason. It's all right. I'll fix it. All right. Straight across on the back. Boy, I did not get this one pushed through very well, did I? Okay. Left one. Left one, up one, straight across. So pull up on that a little bit. Or actually, if I pull down, it'd be better. So I don't put my needle through this thread again, I'm going to pull down just a little bit, put my thumb on it and hold it, and aim at the top of the hole and kind of up at an angle, and I'll miss it. All right, now straight across. And pull her snug. Oh, I didn't go straight across. Look at that. Put it back through, pull it back through, straight across, straight across. There you go. If I can get it. Excuse me. I'm going to have frogs dancing on the screen today. Oh, man. I can get a little coffee in me. Maybe that'll help. All right. That might help. Okay. Right side up one. So after this stitch, I think you pretty much got it. And I'll just speed this up so you can watch me do the rest. Straight across. I'm going to go ahead and pre-poke that because I know I'm not going to get through it this time. There we go. And do the next one. Left one, up one, and straight across. And pull her snug. There we go. Okay, so it does get easier for that to hold together the further you go, and as you snug it up, because it just holds itself. Pretty amazing stuff, but looks really cool that way. I like this stitch. Kind of reminds me of like what you would see from Renaissance Festival or something like that. You know, the old turn of the century type of stuff. Well, turn of the previous century, not this century. All right, another little sip, and then I'll finish this off. And we'll figure out how to do the end. It just depends on what you're doing as far as how you finish things. Like I said, if you want to be able to see the back, then we'll do it a little bit different. It's still sometimes it's just near impossible to hide the ends, and you wind up just having a knot. Other times there's ways that you can hide it. But anyway, we'll figure it out when we get to the end. There we go. All right, last couple stitches. Up one on the right side, straight across on the back. Pull that down. And straight across on the back. And go ahead and pull her snug again. Make sure everything looks pretty good. Not bad. Alright, so we're just going to match this side as much as we can. So I'm just going to take one, I'm just going to take this one and run it back through again. And we'll do the same thing over here. Now what I should have done over here was start from the top, work down, and then crossed it on the bottom. I've done my single loop on the bottom. So we had 2 double loops on each, a double loop on each side, but not a big deal. Still looks good. You have to look real close to see it. Not bad at all. All right. Now, like I said, back here, trying to hide something is going to be kind of a pain because there's no straight lines from here. So you're going to see something like this if I go underneath. So, so I am just going to tie a knot. And again, I just do square knots. They're fairly simple. You can do pretty much anything. I mean, I wouldn't do a bow, but there you go. Just cross them over like that. Run one through. Pull her tight. And I usually turn it sideways, just like that a little bit. Then do a second one. Loop, pull it through. Loop, swoop, pull. Make sure the other one stays tight. Sometimes you can put your finger on it, but it's kind of hard to do the next step one-handed. There, it'll pull tight. There we go. So I'll do it one more time, just lock it in. And cut the excess off. Pretty close. But leaving just a little bit of the tail there. Okay. There we go. And if you're worried about that knot holding it up a little bit, you just take the butt of your awl without putting your hand on that because it'll go through your hand. Don't put your thumb on the top. Just hold it like this and beat the butt against it and it'll flatten that right out. Look at that. Flatten it right out. You can do the same thing over here. In fact, you can do the same thing with the whole seam. Then it'll flatten that right out and make it look like it's all smooth and stuff. All right, so there you go. Here's what I call a flat cross stitch. And yeah, sorry, my monitor keeps turning off for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I just kind of got some new stuff set up so it's easier to see what I'm videoing. Before I couldn't see it without standing up. And I don't like to stand up. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Yeah, this is a pretty neat stitch. The next one we're going to do is a double cross stitch, and like I said, you don't necessarily have to do this one for just a seam. You could just put it on the same piece of leather just for some decoration, or even to attach another piece of leather on the back. So if you're doing something like this, and to strengthen up that seam even more, you could do a strap on the back, lining the holes up on both sides, and then you'd have this loop across this back here, or even on the top for some decoration, and run so you don't have that butt seam shown. But anyway, but so many things you can do. Yeah, I've done multiple things, and I don't think I've ever made anything exactly the same. In fact, I know I haven't. There's always been some kind of difference somewhere. But yeah, anyway, that's the end of the video. I will come back with another video showing the next set. Thanks for watching.